Welcome to the writings of Patrick S. Smith. Hello, all. Dropping another video update, and start off with Kathy's not going to join me. I hadn't planned on doing this one. Just forgot to remind her, and then having to work on Saturday when I normally do them, it just decided not to, then decided to, not to, bounce around. So I'm going to do it. Though I do plan on having a couple bonuses in here for you. Got a whole host of updates to do. To start with, Amber, I got another couple hundred words in this past week. Actually, since the last update, I have got the first draft of the first chapter done. Woohoo! Mainly why it's taken me so long to do it is I've kind of been bouncing around scrapbooking. It goes by different names. I'll write one portion, be working on it, then put it aside and go work on another section. So, start to finish, I do have everything started to some degree, or a lot of it started to some degree. But as far as a finished chapter, as far as a finished section, just the first chapter. Hopefully I'll get the second chapter done this week, and be able to put that aside and move on. So there has been progress. Another story I've been working on is, and it's actually two I'm doing at once because they tie together. The Brides of War and the War Brides. The Brides of War is actually another serious story. It is about a young lady who dislikes a practice that her people has, that is that they hold these contests, and unmarried women starting at age 14 are offered up as trophies to the winners of these contests, and they are then married off. She doesn't like the practice because she's seen what has done to some of these women. So, and it is her fight, really about her fight against it. But the seeress does step in and gives her typical 2 cents worth on it. Now, the War Brides, like I said, is the companion. This is written from the observations of a member of the Sage Elra, and how he talks about how it came about, what the practice actually is, and it's going to be a dry historical context piece, but I think the two together will marry well, and then you'll get both sides, two different outlooks of the same thing, basically. Naming the seeress, I'm getting ready to sit down and start the process of the next round of edits and revisions. First thing I'm going to do is I want to do an audio of it so I can listen and find places that I need to work on, things I need to ramp up, and that's going to take a day or two just to do that, because I can only talk doing recordings like that for about 15-20 minutes at a time. It doesn't seem like a long time, but it do make progress that way. That actually ends up being about I want to say roughly a normal chapter or section, but it also depends on how I feel and how bad it is. I think I'll actually get more done this time each setting, because I'm not going to be doing a lot of stopping and gotta change this, that's awful, and in the recordings. So there is that. And speaking of recordings, I have gone through the second recording session of To Draw a Soul, You Must Give Your Soul. It was better than the first. Still got the third to go through, and then start merging and piecing together, see if I've got the complete story there, or if I got to go back and do additional recordings, or possibly even another full recording. Don't know yet. I haven't gotten that far, but it's coming along with ideas for the artwork for when I actually, because do plan on publishing it on YouTube at some point. I just need good artwork to go with it. No artist, so and I'll get to that later. But there's that on that front. And the other big news is after, surprisingly, after the last recording, the last vlog, I got word back about the Stafford building. It is getting published. It's supposed to be in the September issue of Eldritch Stories. Now they are not, or Eldritch Science, excuse me, Eldritch Science. It is not. They are not a regular publication, coming out every X months or so, or every month, anything like that on a set time schedule. They have open call, get enough material that they like for an issue, and then they publish. They published one they called. They say it's the May issue, but it came out in July, or was it the July issue that came out in May? That sort of thing. So. I have seen the author. I have my author copy, and I'm in it. Yay! I thought the editor gave me a nice little send-off in it, so I'll drop a notice when that actually goes live. Now, it might be a little bit before I actually get the link up on the blog, because the Stafford is going to have the distinction of being the first story that is my artwork for the thumbnail. I'm not going to do AI. I can't afford to commission somebody for it, so it will be my artwork for it. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. But there is that. And I've made mention a couple times about some of my artwork. I am no artist. I flunked finger painting in school, so that should give you an idea. Now, I could do technical drawings. I built a shed where I did the architectural layout on how everything should be, and everything dropped in like a glove. So I could do that. I've done, in the IT world, I've done network diagrams, I've done wire server diagrams, that sort of thing. So it's not something, it's not like I can't draw a straight line. I could do that. It's just that my stick figures look like Picasso's. I'm horrid at trying to do freehand and whatnot, but I understand certain concepts about art, so I'm going to make do with what I've got. I'm going to try my hand at it. A couple things I've tried in the past, and granted, a lot of it is geometric works. Like here's the here is Inbel's image. Or not his image, rather, but an image of his symbol. It was given to him by the Termillian elves, and it's supposed to be an eye with a quill nib in the middle on a piece of yellow jade. Now, I could do that because the drawing tool I'm using, GIMP, allows me to do this and, do it as a computer constructed form. I see it in my mind. I've tried it freehand, and but it's a concept. I'm gonna go back and redo it and reformat it, and a lot of other work on it. So there's that. The next one is the concept, which is going to get cleaned up and redone and redone and redone and worked on, is for my friend Death, because I just grabbed something when the story went live, got published. I just went out and grabbed off the internet a freeware image that worked, that conveyed part of what I was after. So there is that. So an example of my work. Now, as far as the Stafford, like I said, that's going to be the first one that gets artwork specifically by me. I'm not to that stage yet. Like I said, I know certain elements, and Okay, a building is geometrically a rectangle. Uh, so go in, and first thing I did was make the brickwork for it. I haven't gotten as far as fully making a wall yet. I'm not, so I can go back in and shade and color and give it some texture. Haven't done that yet. So, and then then there's the windows, the door, the signage, and all these other details. It's just gonna, it's a long, drawn out process, and it's things that I can go back and clean up and make look presentable. So it's just right now it's just a practice, practice, practice type deal, and work at it. I think that's why for the longest time I didn't even try to draw. As soon as I got out of art and could do, didn't have to try to make anything like that again. Didn't have to try to draw things or paint things. I walked away from it because back in the day that was all on paper. That sort of thing. And now in the digital age, I'm finally sitting down and going, "Whoops, that line's wrong. Undo, redo." A lot easier. A lot easier. Though the tools I have for that, in terms of the physical tools, my mice, are not well suited for it. So, and I'm not going to invest in a drawing tablet anytime soon. No need, and just too expensive. So I'm just going to do what I can and make the most of it, and maybe get a little bit better. Uh, and this is, well, there's going to just be one, well, actually, no, this is the last episode for this season. I got 12 in when I finally sat down and started doing this as a regular thing. 12 episodes. So I got to pat myself on the back for that one, since I got through it. A lot of things, been a learning experience, been fun. I'm glad everybody, all of y'all out there have taken the time to watch. That's a good ego stroke. Gives me a chance to reach out to my potential audience, and get some people to turn eyes. The reason why I say this is the final episode is the blog, and I'm actually going to short everything else a week or two, because just makes, to me, it's just my mindset. Okay, October's coming up. We're getting ready to start the fourth quarter. We'll start, the season with the beginning of the fourth quarter. So the next vlog entry will definitely be season 2, episode 1. Hopefully to have some nice changes, but I'm gonna say probably not at the beginning, just because of time constraints. This, writing this sort of thing is a hobby. It's a sideline. It is not my life. I don't make a living off of it by any means. It's just something enjoyable. It is something I enjoy. I like, the fact that you're out there and you're listening to me ramble. That's scary on some fronts. But some things I may try. I might do some. Let everybody get a better introduction to some of the characters I have. Have Cedric and Bertha come by. Maybe a couple incarnations of the Cirrus. In Bull. So we'll see. I know I've got some other characters out there that are chomping at the bit to get appear in the next when's their next story. One of them happens to be Ugg from Twisted Trope, which I've got ideas for issue 3 of that, which. And even though I don't think I've talked about it before, but Twisted Trope is supposed to be a comic, and when you can't draw, you don't have access to tools to let you fake it good without going into AI art, which I am trying to get away from outside of maybe storyboarding, it doesn't go anyplace. So, but, he's been chomping at the bit. I keep getting emails from him and calls and all sorts of things with ugh, ugh, ugh. Yes, I get the point, ugh. Now, wait, I'll get around to you, please. So, there is that. So, uh, anyway, it's been fun. I hope y'all have enjoyed these. And like I said, next one's up will be season 2. So, y'all take care. Thank you. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. You can find more of my books on Amazon.com. Also, you can find more of my stories and poems at patricssmithauthor.wordpress.com. The links are in the description. Thank you.